Okay, so let's talk eyes. Most often than not, I see students, they draw the football of the eye, and then they draw the pupil of the eye from the top to the bottom, and that's all. As I'm going to show you guys, it's incorrect. You guys are familiar with the eyeball. It's called that for a reason. It's because the eye is actually round, like a ball. So when I teach you guys or teach students to draw eyes, I start with round, the eyeball. We'll get it to that football shape, but what gets it to that football shape is not the shape of the eye itself, but the skin that's around it, your eyelids. And so it helps when you're drawing the curves of the eyelids to get that kind of football shape, that you realize that really what you're doing is you're drawing those folds of skin to wrap around a round shape, the eyeball. And so when I recommend it is you draw your eye, and then we're going to go ahead and divide this in half, and in half. And then, because that's going to tell me where my pupil's going to go, my iris. And then from this part, from the dead center, I'm going to divide that in half, and that's going to be my lid. Again, from here to here, divide that in half, and that's going to be my bottom lid. And see how now I'm starting to get that kind of football shape. And notice how I'm curving the line kind of around the shape of the eyeball. That's what helps give it that kind of round look. So, up here is going to be some fold of skin that makes the actual eyelid. And down under here is going to be the bottom of the eyelid. And then it connects out to your tear ducts. Like so. And so now, I can kind of, I can come in and erase a little bit. But, there you go. Eyelashes. Don't draw in all the eyelashes. A lot of times I see students that they, draw the individual eyelashes, and it starts looking like, I don't know, fuzzy or centipede legs and stuff like that. Draw it as a thin line to a thick line. You can feather them out towards the end, but it shouldn't be too thin, a thin line. Then they have no eyelashes, but it should be thin to thick to the outside of the line. So if I'm drawing the eye from the side, and again, I'm going to start off with a circle, and I know that the eye sits inside the nose, or not inside the nose, but the bridge of the nose. So it's going to be like this, and here's my nose. So again, I'm going to divide it in half. Then I divide that area in half to get my top lid. Eyelash, thick to thin. And again, it goes over kind of around the contours of the eye. Divide this in half, and what I'm going to do to get my pupil and my iris in is taking this and just kind of moving it over, and not physically, but like if I'm drawing it here, well, what I want to actually do is just kind of bring that over, so I draw it here. So it's like if you just imaginary draw your eye and then draw your guidelines over, your eye goes over to here. And then the bottom lip, just like we did with over here, it's going to curve around the eye. And it's got thick to thin as well. And then the skin closes over it. Here's my eye. There's my pupil. And then I'm starting to draw the eye from there, and then the eyebrow is going to go up. I'll show you guys eyebrows in a second. But yeah, and these are like shutters. The eyelids are like shutters. So the larger, farther apart, the more wider the expression is. The closer they are, is where you can create kind of squinty sort of looks. So again, we'll just draw my circle real quick. Divide it in half. Draw my circle there for my iris. Then draw my pupil. And so I can curve thin to thick for my eyelash, and curves around. So it's like I'm drawing around the eye, curving around it. And so now I've got it where the lid is a little more closed. So if I erase this part, you might see it a little bit better. So I've just closed the lid a little bit. So if you just kind of think of them like that, they open and close like shutters. That'll help you a lot with expressions. Also, again, just kind of taking account the contours. That, here's my eyeball, and when I'm drawing the lid, it's got to follow those contours. So bottom lid is always going to kind of dip down and up. It's like drawing a little semicircle around it, and that's your bottom lid. And then the top lid is going to do the reverse, arch up and then out. This is more of a wide-eyed expression. And that the lids go into one another so that they form your tear ducts. That's where that football shape comes in. And then you can erase your guides to get your eyeball. Eyebrows are thick to thin, and they are also helpful with the expression process of it. So you don't want to draw the individual hairs of the eyeball, the individual hairs of the eyelash. Dang it, the individual hairs of the eyebrow. So you can start with a line, and it's going to follow the contours as well, and it wraps around it. So the eyebrow stops just past the edge of the eye. So here, just past the edge of the eye, and thin to thick. So it's always thinner out here, thin, 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 and then it gets to thick, peaking up there, and then kind of this thinness again. And then you're just kind of mirroring your line that you just drew at the top. And then you fill it in as a solid mass. So same thing up here is I'm kind of following the contour of my eye, so it's going to go up and over like this, thick. I'm just mirroring my line, thin. I'm just mirroring this bottom line, so thin, thick. So, and you can sometimes add some individual hairs at the beginning and the end of it. Just don't get crazy with it, because you don't want them to be distracting from it. But that's basically how you'll do eyelashes, eyeballs, and eyebrows.